So will it be Morocco, Zambia, South Africa, or Nigeria's Super Falcons? 4 African teams are competing at this year's Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand, which starts on the 20th of July. Now, Nigeria is the continent's most successful side in the women's game. What's even special this time is that they will be led by their captain, who is set to play in her 6th World Cup tournament, a record for an African player, male or female. DW's Olisa Chukwumah caught up with her and some teammates in Lagos ahead of the tournament.
Onome Ebi is no stranger to top-flight soccer. Nigeria's women's football team captain is scrolling through the years after representing her country for 2 decades. Next week, the 40-year-old will be putting on the national jersey for her 6th World Cup tournament, an African record.
Because of the love of the game, the determination, the zeal that, yes, I want to get to that level, to the highest level in football, it keeps me going. When they ask me how I started playing football, I always tell them I started playing football from my mom's room. I started kicking everything, like right from when I was like 4, 5.
While her career didn't start quite that early, she did make her international debut in 2003. But Onome says a lot has since changed in the women's game.
When we started playing, I never played for money. I just played for passion. And they call me, I'll be paying you this to do what you like. I was so excited. I never knew to get to this stage that we'll be paying, like, using the money to even assist our family, take care of our family.
Despite Nigeria's off-pitch problems, Onome's achievements have been a source of inspiration for her teammates.
I think it shows the level of discipline she has and her physical, how much more she was able to take care of herself, and also, the commitment she has towards the games.
She's a veteran, she's the captain. Going into the World Cup for the 6th time is incredibly amazing. This goes to show that age is not a factor. It is the state of the mind that keeps you performing.
That state of mind appears as strong as ever, and Onome has given no indication that she plans to retire, as an inspiration for Africa's next soccer generation.
Young girls send me messages all the time. How do you do this? How do you do that? Now that I'm even going for the 6th, I have so much messages like to inspire them. It makes me want to go more. Like, I have something doing that people are amazed, about. It just makes me want to go more and more.
Ebi is determined to lead her team beyond the group stage of the tournament. Nigeria will be making their 9th Women's World Cup appearance, the only African team to do so.
For more on this, let's bring in Juliet Beiwa, an award-winning sports journalist. She joins us now from Brisbane, Australia, where she will be covering the World Cup. Hello, Juliet. So nice to see you. So, while Nigeria has a lot to celebrate, there are also major financial and organizational challenges that affect their team. How bad is it?
Thank you very much, Eddie. Good to be here. Just like you mentioned, these things continue to plague women's football, especially in Africa and even beyond. And often issues of this nature are given little to no attention, like we've seen in a couple of weeks. We expect that they will be resolved even before the tournament kickstart next week. And as you may also know, this has also attracted the ire of the coach, that is Randy Waldrum, who also slammed the NFF over what he thinks misappropriation of funds. And he also insisted that it is certainly not right that players are owed as far back as 2 years ago. We've seen that with countries like Ghana and even Cameroon and others. So this is nothing new, but we hope that this will not happen again going forward.
Still, Nigeria is the most successful African team in the Women's World Cup. What are their chances this time around?
Well, interestingly, I think they can definitely go far, problems or not. The squad looks very hungry for success. I've seen them train, and it is not too hard to tell. You have the likes of Onome Ebi, who is making her 6th World Cup, just like Brazil's Martha. So the experience is there. For someone like Asisat Oshoala, which you can't mention the Falcons without mentioning her name. It will be a fine opportunity for her to show up once again on the world stage as she has done often. This is also a squad with a great depth of talent, and that can be to their advantage. They are in a very tough group with host Australia, Canada, and also Republic of Ireland. And their main aim will be to get out of that group, which I think is possible.
Not just Nigeria, there's also South Africa, Zambia, and Morocco. Break it down for us. What can we expect from these sides?
You can expect a lot with the friendly matches that they played. You saw how Zambia stunned Germany, so you can expect a lot, absolutely. In Barbara Banda, who is very good for Zambia, their captain, who is ready to lead the onslaught against other teams. I think it should be good for them coming into their first World Cup. In also the South African setup, you have players who know the demands of this competition. They've been there before and would like to prove themselves in a major way, even when they had issues of their bonuses as well back home in South Africa. Make no mistake, also with Morocco, with the kind of infrastructure and everything that they pumped into their game, the men's game and the women's game, they are the team you may need to pay attention to. They could prove the surprise unit in this pack. They are taking inspiration from what their men team did in Qatar. So the African teams in this competition are not just going to be a mere pushovers.
Rightfully so. Look, at the end of the day, no African team has won the Women's World Cup 9 times attempting to do so. So there's still a long way to go. What needs to be done to improve the quality of African women's football at home and abroad?
It will take a lot of doing the right things. And that will mean going to these campaigns with the very best who are competitive over time and have a lot of talent and discipline to win at big games and also big stadiums, to have the character, have the charisma to even withstand all the pressure that comes at playing at this top level. You also need to, like I mentioned, you have big tournament temperament, and that helps as well. You see the likes of USA, Brazil, and even now in England, they have that big tournament temperament. So it will be really, really crucial for these African teams. Technical direction, I think, is also key. Who you have in your dugout is as important as the players who make up that first 11. So we will have to do more, perhaps do things differently and see what the possible outcomes will be.
Thanks a lot, sports journalist Juliet Bewa, for your time.
Thank you very much for having me.